This is the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us on the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show on March 15th, 2013. Our time is 8:36 in the morning Mountain, 10:36 Eastern. Radio show runs on News Talk 770 in Calgary. And we should remind everyone, in Calgary next week, we will be on at a special time of Saturday at 5 o'clock. Saturday at 5 o'clock in Calgary next week. We're also on 630 CHED in Edmonton and News Talk 1010 in Toronto. If you ever miss a radio show, obviously you can hear us on the radio. They're online on Harold's websites, HESradio.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. We have a podcast through iTunes. Type in the World Financial Report on Radio. You can hear Harold's daily market commentary. It's on his websites as well. And you can hear past shows. All you need to do is have iTunes on your computer, your iPhone, iPod, iPad. The radio show is portable. As we tape today's show, big news on diamonds to come a little later on. And it was interesting. We obviously have a brand new pope, and he seems like a very humble, interesting person. Sequestration in the United States continues. The drop-dead date, March 27th. In fact, the White House has notified 500 people that work there. They will be going on furlough. There were jobless claims numbers out of the United States. They were very good, and everyone was all excited. But if you really take a look at what's happening, there's a record 89 million people not in the labor force in the United States, 296,000 fewer employed since January. And in December, 48 million people were on food stamps. 25% of all people in Washington, D.C. were on that program. And one of the other big stories breaking as of Thursday, it's interesting, in the United States, the Wall Street Journal reported the CFTC out of the United States looking at the London gold and silver fix. The top U.S. derivatives regulator has started internal discussions on whether to really take a look at the daily settings of gold and silver prices in London, and are they open to manipulation? Some people are saying this could be the next LIBOR scandal. Harold, it was another very interesting week.
You bet, Randy. You know, the funny thing is about the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, they're the federal government policing agency for the futures markets in the U.S. You know, they should get their own house in order before they start looking at other countries. Because the fact is that, you know, there's a lot of people in the U.S. that feel that the CFTC is not doing the right thing and have not looked at our markets properly, because we all know that banks like J.P. Morgan have been shorting the silver market for years now and selling more silver than exists in the world. So, again, get your own house in order before you start looking at London type of thing. But all in all, the market is stabilizing in the metals this week, which is a very good sign. I think we're going from being bearish in metals, which I never have been and many others haven't either. But again, the markets, if you look on the technical charts, have now gone from bearish to neutral, which is a very good sign. So we did break slightly above 1,600 this morning as we were taping the show on Friday. Gold is trading right now up $5 on the day. We're trading at $1,597, but we did hit 1,600. Well, we need to see short term, just to get this market back on track, we need to see two closes above the 1,600 level. That would certainly help us out and take us towards the next level of 1,680. The silver market, similar situation. We spent at least 2 days above the 2850 level, which was extremely important. So silver's starting to trade and build a base again. As we're trading silver this morning, it did hit 29.14. Well, I would like to see silver get up to the 32.50 level and have a couple closes above that. I do believe we're starting to build a base, and I also believe that we're going to start to see the U.S. dollar start to fall, and that is certainly going to get the metals back on track. So again, gold is up $5 as we're taping the show, trading just below the 1,600 level. Silver is trading above $29 at $29.03, up 12 cents on the day. Platinum up $5 at $15.96, and the palladium market even on the day, but still trading high at $777. The Dow is down 44 points at 14,494. You've got the Nasdaq down 11.5 points at 3,247. You've got the TSX up 34 points at 12,834. You've got the dollar down 34 cents. That's extremely important. We're trading back down at 82.25. I think the U.S. dollar is going to start to break down now, and as the U.S. dollar does start to fall, that will definitely push the metal significantly higher and get out of the sideways pattern that it's been in for the last 18 months. Oil market's been strong, back up over $93, is trading at $93.22. So again, all in all, the markets seem to be building a stronger base, and I'd be very happy to get far away from that $26 level in silver and the $15.20 level in gold. You know, the fact is we are just really biding our time. We've always been bullish on this market, and we always felt that the fundamentals were strong enough to push the markets to new highs. But again, when the markets are being played with by the banks and by the governments type of thing, again, which really doesn't make an awful lot of sense. Everybody knows that the state of the world economy is bad. You don't need to play with the price of gold to let everybody know that the economy is in rough shape. You know, the thing is that a lot of people are savers, and this is not a good market for savers because in the U.S., the interest rates are basically at zero. So if you have any type of cash and you put it into the bank, you're going to make zero return on it. And obviously that doesn't sit well with most people. You want to see some type of return on your money. And the fearful thing is because people are not getting any return on their investments by putting it into the bank or CDs or things like that, they're almost forced to go back into the stock market. And that's the most dangerous place in the world. And it appears that that's the way that the forces that be are forcing people to do. Get back into the stock market. You're going to see the type of returns you need to see, you know, to be happy with your returns. But the stock market, as we all know, is the riskiest place to have your money. In 1999, when the Dow and the Nasdaq plummeted, we saw stocks go from $150 down to below $1. And people lost most of their money in the dot-com companies. And between 1999 and 2008, when the market hit 14,000, people stayed in the market for those 8-9 years and barely got back to break even. Then 2008 happened, the markets plummeted all the way down to 6,500, and people lost all their money again, and on top of that, with a double whammy, got killed in the real estate market. It's now 2013. The market, for some reason, has gotten back up to the 14,500 level, is setting records almost every day, and now people are sitting there saying, maybe I should be back in the stock market. Don't forget 1999, don't forget 2008, and realize at this point that all the moves in the economy and in the stock market are basically orchestrated by printing as much money as the Federal Reserve is printing and putting it back into the economy in the form of quantitative easing is only going to hurt the market down the road. So as we've always said, you know, they're putting Band-Aids on open heart surgery. The fact is that the problem is so severe and almost insurmountable, and by just trying to deal with these small problems that are cropping up every day, they can't concentrate on what the long-term situation is. And the long-term situation is dire. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind, and people that are a lot smarter than I am are saying that as long as you continue to debase currencies, there is no chance that we are not going to see high inflation moving forward. It's almost like selling your soul to the devil. You're willing to do okay at this particular point, but knowing in 5 to 7 years from now that you're going to have to pay the price, and the price is going to be extremely high inflation. And there's just no way around that, because when your dollar buys less, but the cost of living goes up, that's inflation in its most simplistic form. I don't really care what the governments call inflation. The bottom line is, as a hardworking family, you make X amount of dollars, and you've got to stretch those dollars to pay your bills, to pay your mortgage and your insurance and your food and your clothing and your car and everything else. When all of a sudden the price of oil goes up substantially and the price of food goes up and your income isn't going up, that's inflation, and that's where people don't spend money. And that's why the retail market is going to fall substantially also, because most people in the United States do not have any money to spend at this particular point. So again, we've spent the last 18, 19 months watching them bring down the price of gold and silver. It's now at a level where I think we're building a strong base again, and I do believe the fundamentals are strong enough to push this market substantially higher. Again, we do not want to see our listeners go back heavily into the stock market, especially at this point. It's feeling extremely top-heavy and could definitely fall substantially. Our recommendations is to stay in the hard asset market, to diversify your account. And basically, we know that people are not going to sell out their entire stock positions. Tax reasons and other reasons will stop them from doing that. But buy insurance. Get some type of insurance against this market plummeting again. And that will come in the form of hard assets, alternative assets like gold, silver, and diamonds. We've been talking about these assets for a long time, and they've done extremely well. Gold has gone from $250 to $1,900. Silver's gone from $4 all the way up to $50. Oil's gone from $18 all the way up to $150. These markets have done extremely well. Last year there was a drought in the U.S. that was comparable to back to 1980 when it was devastating. Food prices have to go substantially higher this year, as does oil. So again, don't get disillusioned with these markets. Every market has its time. This market is comparable to 1976 when the markets did almost the same thing. In 1972, the bull market in gold and silver started. Gold was at $125, silver was at $1.50. They went up substantially. Then we hit 1976, and the market started to go sideways for 2 years and drop. And that's exactly the same scenario that's happening now. We went through 1976 to 1978, where the markets basically fell and went in a sideways pattern, and people got disillusioned and got out of the gold and silver market. And then, you know what happened from there. 1979 and 80 came. We had high inflation, weak currencies. Gold went all the way from basically the $100 level all the way up to $800, and silver basically did the same thing. Went from basically $1.50, $2 in that area, went all the way up to $50. I believe that is very important. We talked about that on last week's radio show. It was in last week's newsletter. It's extremely important, and you've got to go back into history to really follow what these markets have done in the past, and that will tell you a road to which way we're going in the future. And again, I believe we're going to see gold in the thousands and thousands of dollars, and I believe silver will be in the triple digits also, as will oil be $150 or higher. That's what's happening in the markets this week, Randy.
The company Harold recommends you use when it comes to investing in precious metals: gold, silver, platinum, palladium, Worldwide Precious Metals, a Canadian company in business for over 10 years, the entire time this bull market has gone on. wwpmc.com, their website, telephone number 1-866-623-2002. Let them earn your business. Let them educate you why you should have your own precious metals investment account. This is a liquid asset you can buy and sell with a phone call. Secure storage insured to the full value of your investment, 24/7 online access, and you'll have access as well to a full-time expert in these markets. And that's who you want to deal with, experts in this market, people that specialize in precious metals, that is Worldwide Precious Metals, wwpmc.com, 1-866-623-2002. One of the stories this week, and this is actually in our newsletter. You can get our newsletter from Worldwide. They'll send it out to you via email free of charge every week. And you can go through it in minutes or you can spend hours. It's really up to you. Axel Merck, who's a specialist in currencies, was quoted as saying, "A reason why I personally allocate substantial amounts to gold and currencies is because I believe bonds may be in a bubble, and stock valuations may be more driven by the printing presses rather than fundamentals. Well, it's nice for investors to see stock holdings go up when more easy money is promised. The challenge is that stocks may no longer be trading on fundamentals, but only based on the next perceived move of policymakers." Another great quote from Rob Arnott, and he's a money manager, really talks about the stock market in a way I think people need to listen. The main thing that is pushing the market higher is liquidity. You've got the Fed monetizing the nation's debt, buying practically all of the new bond issuance from the federal government. With the Fed monetizing the debt, they run a risk of debasing the currency. But meanwhile, the money has to go somewhere. Please, and he says people don't want to put their money to work in startups and developing new enterprises. So what we have is the effort to prop things up, and it's really just propping up the stock market, not the macro economy. It's wonderful when you see this kind of thing happen to just say, well, I'm going to go along for the ride, and then I will get out of harm's way before things unravel. But how do you do that? I prefer to step aside during liquidity-fueled rallies and take advantage of them as an opportunity to take some risk off the table. Thank you very much for these gains. Now let me move to the more cautious posture. I would rather be out of harm's way than to pick up the last nickel in front of a steamroller. And I really think that is a great last line where he says, I'd rather be out of harm's way than pick up the last nickel in front of a steamroller. And Harold, that is sort of what we're dealing with in the stock market. A lot of people believe this is all based on quantitative easing, liquidity-based. And when the liquidity goes away, if they do pull it away, obviously people like Jim Sinclair have said QE to infinity, and I believe that could be the case. But if they do take a run at pulling back, we've seen it twice before, the stock market pulls back as well, and a lot of people were hurt in the process. Exactly. And every market has its time. What we need to be concerned about at this point here is capital preservation. Because, again, if you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s and you lose your money this time like in 2008 and 1999, it's nearly impossible to make it back again. So, again, we all are concerned about getting some type of return on our investments. But the fact is that because of present-day situations, they've decided to adopt a low-interest or a no-interest policy. And just think that what that does to seniors that are they're afraid. I spoke with somebody yesterday that had to have their money in the market because they needed the dividends. But basically, when the market falls and their stocks plummet, they lose most of their money. So it's almost like a catch-22. It's just a very, very concerning situation. Again, there are alternative investments that can help you get to where you need to go, and you don't have to risk your money in these ultra-risky markets. Every market has its time. Again, at this particular point, I believe it's more the time for hard assets like physical metals and diamonds that'll get us through these very, very difficult times in the currency markets and with inflation coming forward. 1-866-623-2002. Call that number right now, and you can leave your name and number, and Worldwide Precious Metals will get back to you. They will educate you as to why you should have your own precious metals investment account. They're the experts in this very specialized field. Their telephone number, 1-866-623-2002, website www.pmc.com. Jim Sinclair, one of the gold experts that we rely on for his knowledge, along with Harold and John Embry and James Turk and many others. He said gold is about to take out 1,600, and this is the big note, and you can see it in our newsletter. We may never see that 1,600 level ever again. And in an article, he was interviewed by King World News, Eric King, great website. He expects $1,000 days in gold as the West battles the East. He says, I believe we will see a $1,000 day in gold, and I think you will see it on at least 3 occasions. It's not unimaginable if you go back to the market of the 70s, and it will happen because, kicking and screaming, gold is going to drag the United States into a position of a balanced balance sheet or near balanced balance sheet. If you assume that the gold the U.S. claims to have, in fact, they do have, and the world will assume that, I firmly believe gold is going to $3,500 and much higher. Gold is attached to debt. Read that story in our newsletter. Also, John Embry from Sprout Asset Management saying this week he believes that global silver stockpiles are now exhausted. That is another must-read article. And he says, because the market is so tiny and there is this massive short position in silver, it will move very violently to the upside. This is why the gold to silver ratio is going to plunge, because once silver gets going, there will be nothing to stop it. The reality is that it will be easy for the industrial and medical fields to absorb a higher price because it's a significantly smaller portion of the costs in both sectors. I'm surprised the manipulators have been able to hold the price of silver for this long, but when silver truly surges, it will leave market participants speechless. Also, Stephen Lieb, interviewed by King World News, and he says silver to eclipse $100 on skyrocketing Chinese demand. And he goes to talk about something we've mentioned on the show before, and that is photovoltaics. And photovoltaics, that is being used all over the world. You can read that article in our newsletter. It accounts for about 5 to 6% of all the silver that is being mined in the world, and it's used in things like solar panels and medical devices. He believes that silver under $30 is a joke, and one day silver will break $100 an ounce. Harold, we have about 4 minutes left in our first segment. Some very bullish prognostications from, obviously, Stephen Lieb, John Embry, and Jim Sinclair. Jim Sinclair coming out making a strong statement, $3,500 gold, and we may never see $1,600 gold again.
It's very possible. It's extremely possible because, again, once the hedge funds come back into the market, and, the thing is, it's not the speculators that are going to push this market up. It's going to be the hedge funds because it's a totally different market today than we've ever seen in the past. Once these hedge funds have come into the market, the volatility has increased substantially. The thing is this silver should have been to $100 already because in 1980, gold hit $800 and silver hit $50. In 2011, gold hit $19.20 and more than doubled in value, and silver only got to $50. So, again, at this particular point, I believe that what they're saying is exactly true. There is shortages of silver, and there's tremendous industrial use of silver, along with it being a monetary metal. There's no doubt that we're going to see a shortage in the market, and that's when they're going to catch the market short, and the market's going to take off. So I've traded these markets for over 35 years. I've seen what has happened when these type of scenarios happen in the futures markets, because I've traded them for that long, and I have seen days where gold has gone up over $100 in a day, and silver's gone up $2 or $3, and there's no doubt in my mind that it will happen again, and fairly quickly.
Speak with Worldwide Precious Metals. Start your own precious metals investment account today. Let them educate you as to why you should have an allocation of precious metals in your portfolio at all times. Speak with them, 1-866-623-2002, the website wwpmc.com, wwpmc.com, telephone number 1-866-623-2002. And Harold touched on it a little earlier, and that is the world savers are being wiped out, and Jim Rogers does agree, and he says, history says that leads to very bad things. Throughout our history, any country's history, that basically the people who save their money and invest for their future are the ones that build an economy, a society, and a nation on. In America, many people saved their money, put it aside, and didn't buy 4 or 5 homes with no job and no money down. They did what most people would consider the right thing and what historically has been the right thing. But now, unfortunately, those people are being wiped out because they are getting 0% return or virtually no return on their savings and their investments. We're wiping them out at the expense of people who went deeply into debt, people who did what most people would consider the wrong thing at the expense of people who did the right thing. This long term has terrible consequences for any nation, any society, any economy. If you go back in history, you'll see what happened to the Germans when they wiped out the savings class in the 20s. It didn't lead to good things down the road for Germany. It didn't lead to good things for Italy as well, which did the same thing there. There's plenty of countries where it wiped out the people who saved and invested for their future. It's usually a serious political reaction, desperate in some cases, and looking for a savior and easy answers to, he actually says, is usually what happens when you try and destroy the people who save and invest for the future. easy answers. Harold, there aren't many easy answers. We have about 2 minutes left. There aren't any easy answers for the debt situation that the United States is facing. Sequestration continues in the United States. They have until March 27th to fix it or government shuts down. We see what's happening in Greece again. Greece, they're trying to negotiate their way out of this, trying to get more money to keep going. We're in a very dicey situation globally with the world's finances and geopolitically.
Exactly, because the world is broke. The governments are all broke, and the difference between them and us is that when we lose our jobs or we lose our money, we either claim bankruptcy or move in with family members or whatever, but the government doesn't have to do that. They make mistakes, and they just go to the printing press and print up all the money. But eventually you have to pay for that. You cannot create wealth out of thin air, and that's what the governments are doing. But eventually you're going to have to pay for that, and that's going to pay in the currency markets. There's no doubt about that. Currency and inflation is where you really need to concentrate on. And again, with the tremendous amount of dollars being printed, not only in the U.S., but in Europe, and there's other situations. On 60 Minutes last week in China, they showed ghost cities that are totally 100% vacant, brand new, beautiful cities built, and nobody is in them. So don't think that China is not in bad shape also. They've spent all this money, trillions of dollars, and it's for naught.
Invest in precious metals. Contact Worldwide Precious Metals, wwpmc.com, telephone number 1-866-623-2002. Some big news in the diamond world. We'll talk about it as the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall, continues right after this. Welcome back to the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us on the telephone, our financial expert and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show on March 15th, 2013. Our time is 9:04 in the morning Mountain. That's 11:04 Eastern. Radio show runs News Talk 1010 in Toronto, 630 CHED Edmonton, and News Talk 770 in Calgary. Next week, we will be on in Calgary Saturday at 5 o'clock. Keep that in mind if you listen in Calgary, Saturday, 5 o'clock. If you ever miss a radio show, remember, we're on the radio, we're online on Harold's websites. The shows are archived there, hesradio.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, and we have a podcast through iTunes. All you need to do is type in the World Financial Report on Radio, World Financial Report on Radio, and you will see Harold's Daily Market Commentary. It's on the websites as well. Our shows are archived there as well. We're portable. We're on your iPad, iPod, and your iPhone. And obviously on your computer, too, if you have iTunes on your computer. This radio show is portable. To invest in precious metals, there's only one company Harold recommends you use. That is Worldwide Precious Metals. Their website, wwpmc.com. Telephone number, 1-866-623-2002. Let them earn your business. Let them educate you about why you should have an allocation of precious metals in your portfolio at all times. Start your own precious metals investment account. You'll have, obviously, an account that's liquid. You can buy and sell with a phone call. Secure storage insured to the full value of your investment. 24/7 online access and the use of a full-time expert in precious metals. They're there to help you maximize the profit, minimize the risk. Worldwide Precious Metals. Speak with them. 1-866-623-2002. Website, wwpmc.com. Harold's website is rarecoloreddiamonds.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, and you can speak with Harold at 1-800-432-1022. Our featured diamond this week is a 0.34 carat oval cut, fancy, vivid, purplish pink argyle. You can see it on the website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Click on the featured diamond of the week link. You can also see it in our newsletter. It is absolutely stunning. And we remind you again, Harold Siegel of rarecoloreddiamonds.com has announced his next online seminar. It's April the 3rd, 2013, 8 Eastern Time. That would be 6 o'clock Mountain Time. Go to rarecoloreddiamonds.com and sign up for that special online seminar, and Harold will take you through all the ins and outs of investing in rare-colored diamonds. Sign up for the seminar at rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Harold has spoken quite a bit about D-color flawless diamonds, and no one else was really talking about them except Harold. And lo and behold, this week, some huge news. A pear-shaped colorless diamond is estimated to sell for $20 million in auction in Switzerland. The D-color flawless stone weighs 101.73 carats, will feature a jewelry auction, obviously be featured in a jewelry auction by Christie's International at the Four Seasons in Geneva, May 15th. It's the largest colorless diamond of this optimum grade to appear at auction, and is sold by a client who wishes to remain anonymous. This is the first time the gem has appeared for sale, and the buyer will be able to name it. You buy it, you can name it. And the stone was originally cut from a rough diamond weighing 236 carats that was found at a mine in Botswana. This is an interesting point. It took 21 months to polish. You know, that's definitely nature's art there. Demand for the rarest diamonds as an alternative asset and portable store of value has pushed up prices in recent years. At the top end of the market, white stones are regarded as less desirable as their even rarer color equivalents. The record price for any gem at auction is the $45.4 million that was paid by Lawrence Graff out of London for a 24.78 carat emerald cut fancy intense pink at Sotheby's, November 2010. The record auction price for a colorless stone is $20.4 million, with fees, obviously. 76.02 carat Archduke Joseph diamond was sold at Christie's in Geneva, November 2012. So, Harold, you were talking about these D flawless stones, triple excellent, and lo and behold, this week we have the news come out that there is a monster D that's going to be on sale at Geneva, and we can't wait to see what this goes for.
Well, it's going to go for a fortune. It's over 100 carats. It's the size of a golf ball, and it's a perfect diamond. And again, that's what I've been talking about. These D-flawless white diamonds are 10 times the price of a normal white diamond. They go up by at least 25% a year. They're negative correlated to the stock market, meaning when the stock market plummets, these diamonds go up substantially. And again, they're extremely rare. They're about 10 times the price of a normal white diamond. So, again, I'm glad that this came to the forefront because, you know, there's a reason to my madness. I've known of these diamonds. We cut these diamonds. They are the only diamonds, these D-flawless whites, that the governments in Europe are comfortable with as far as backing their new diamond fund in Luxembourg. So basically, and this is an interesting situation, this is about the only fund that I've ever seen that is backed by the actual physical diamond, and it's only restricted to European investors. North American investors can invest in it, but, I mean, it really is the same thing if you just buy one of those diamonds, because the whole basis of that particular fund is based on how much these 1 to 5 carat round brilliant D-flawless diamonds will go up. Those we recommend them very highly. We cut about 900 carats a year. We're going to be supplying this fund with their diamonds, and this fund is going to eat up most of these D-flawless whites. So if you are in a position to invest in them, we recommend them very, very highly. Again, obviously, to buy a 100-carat diamond is out of most people's realm, but a 1-carat D-flawless white will certainly do a phenomenal job for you, and where you can't invest in the fund, it's the exact same thing if you invest in one of the diamonds. The other thing is, as a hedge against a bad stock market or a currency devaluation, these diamonds are extremely important because in 2008, when the Dow dropped from 14,000 to 6,500, these D-flawless whites went up 50%. That's why they're negative correlated to stocks. So they're not for everybody. They're expensive diamonds. But again, they do tremendously well in a really tough market. Now, if the stock market goes up, these diamonds don't ever drop. Again, there's so few of them that they go up by at least 25% a year. It's just when the stock markets get in trouble, these diamonds take on a life of their own. We very highly recommend, while you can get them, the D-flawless whites. They're magnificent diamonds, and many of the ones that we have are triple excellence, means excellent in cut, polish, and symmetry, which are nearly impossible to get. They represent 0.001% of the market. Now, 2 years ago, there was 2 D-flawless diamonds sold. One of them was Elizabeth Taylor's, and it went to auction and sold for 3 times what they estimated it would sell for. So some people thought, well, gee, because it's Elizabeth Taylor's, that's why it sold for 3 times more. But then again, another large D flawless white came up, and it also sold for 3 times more than what they anticipated it would sell for. So just amazing investment diamonds, and you should definitely look into them if they're in your comfort level as far as an investment goes. The other diamonds that we want to talk about is the feature diamond, which is a magnificent, fancy, vivid, purplish pink argyle. Those diamonds are ridiculously rare. The color is the best that you can possibly get. So if you own one of these diamonds that are vivid in color, they're starting to double every 2.5 years now. They've just taken on a life of their own, and they're just going up like crazy. There's so few of them available, so to get a vivid purplish pink argyle today is nearly impossible. We've invested very, very heavily in argyle. We know that the mine is going to close in 5 years, and we want to own these diamonds, and we want our clients to own these diamonds. That's why we put $40 million in with argyle to buy their next 2 years of production. So while you can still get these diamonds, they're amongst the best investment diamonds that you can get. The vivids are doubling every 2.5 years now. You know, earlier in the show we talked about savers and people that put money away, and by putting your money in the bank, you're getting 0% return on your investment. But you put some of your money into a rare colored diamond like an argyle pink. Here's what we believe is the profit potential for an argyle pink diamond. First of all, we just received 160 new argyle pinks. We're filming them at this point, and they'll be up on the website almost any day. However, these diamonds start at $20,000. We have some magnificent argyle pinks that start at $20,000 and go up into the 7 figures. These diamonds increase by about 25% a year. But we're talking about a mine that's going to close, and this mine, the argyle mine, produces 95% of the pink diamonds in the world. So when the argyle mine closes, there's not going to be any more pink diamonds per se. If you own one of these diamonds, we anticipate that the prices will increase over the next 7 to 10 years by 10 times what today's prices are. Means if you own a $20,000 argyle pink, you can get back as much as $200,000. If you own a $100,000 argyle pink, you can get back over $1 million. That's what's happened in the diamond market in the past, and now we have another opportunity to invest in argyle pinks. Now, again, I highly doubt that this situation will ever happen again. I know of no mines in the world that produce 95% of a particular type of diamond. So, with the argyle mine closing down, you want to own one of these assets. If you're in the stock markets right now and you're feeling a little uncomfortable, lighten up on it a little bit and buy yourself an argyle pink diamond. The vivids are becoming much more expensive. To get a vivid argyle pink, you're talking over $100,000. But again, in 7 to 10 years from now, you're talking about a diamond that can return to you as much as $800,000 to $1 million. And there's no other markets out there at this particular point that can give you those type of returns with the least amount of risk that you have in the rare color diamond market. There is literally no chance of finding another mine that will produce pink diamonds like the argyle mine has. It's the most concentrated form of wealth in the world. These diamonds will literally take your breath away, and they're the best investment diamonds that you can get at this particular point. So we've covered the D flawless whites. Randy has let us know that there's a D flawless white in the news that's going to probably sell for over $20 million. We talked about these amazing argyle pinks, and the mine that produces them is going to close in 5 years. And if you're one of the fortunate ones to own one of these diamonds, you should be in store for a huge payday. The other diamonds that we recommend are yellow flawless diamonds, and we've recommended those for a long time. We invested in them very, very heavily, and there's not a lot of these diamonds available. There are a lot of yellow diamonds available, but very, very few are flawless, and those are the diamonds that you want to own. They increase by 20 to 25% a year. They double every 4 to 5 years, and during times of high inflation, they can go up as much as 400 to 500%, like they did in 1979 and 80 when gold and silver went crazy. Again, these are amazing assets. Now, how do you sell them? You know, the fact is that diamonds don't trade on an exchange like gold or stocks or commodities. So basically, how in the world do you sell a diamond once you own one? Well, Christie's and Sotheby's sell them. But in a lot of cases, Christie's and Sotheby's have really sold much larger diamonds. However, if you look at the auctions that have happened lately, they've sold many diamonds that are in the $20,000, $30,000 range, very similar to what we do. However, we produced a secondary market for our clients to resell their diamonds, and it's called 8 Siegel Fine Auctions. We're the only company in the world that has a site like this. We're the only company that thought enough of our clients to build something that they could resell their diamonds and high-end collectibles, and our systems work extremely well. This auction site is phenomenal. We've had 9 auctions, and we sold 90 to 100% of the diamonds that we put up every single auction that we've had. So what I've done at this particular point is I've now incorporated 8 Siegel Fine Auctions in 3 different parts of the world aside from North America. We've now incorporated in Central America in Panama. We're incorporating in Hong Kong, and we're incorporating in London, England. Reason for it being is that we need to attract high net worth individuals from all over the world that will participate in our auctions. You see, there are currencies that can change the way that you do business and your profit potential. For example, in London, the British pound is worth much more than the U.S. dollar. So, for example, at an auction, if a diamond is going to sell for $100,000, it's only 60,000 British pounds. So they're getting a deal by saving about 30 to 40% on their currency. So what we want to do is we want to hold auctions in London so our clients can take advantage of the currency, so we can collect British pounds instead of weaker U.S. dollars. And that's another area that our clients will make money along with the value of the dollar. Of the diamond, I'm sorry. So, again, this is a very exciting time. We're a very progressive firm, but we're very conservative. And, again, we're all about our clients making money. Because when our clients make money, and I don't want to sound greedy, but we make money with you. We get 10% of the profit when our clients sell through our company. So if you bought an Argyle pink diamond for, let's say, $20,000 and sold it for $200,000 and made $180,000 profit, we get $18,000 and you get the entire amount left. So this is what we do for our clients. There's a lot of companies that have come up. I've Googled rare colored diamonds and colored diamond brokers, and there's been an influx of, let's say, smaller brokers that have come into the market over the last year to 2 years. I can assure you in most cases they don't have the inventory that we have, nor the money to back up the company, nor do they really know that much about the diamond business, and the most important thing is they can never resell your diamonds for you. We built 8 Siegel Fine Auctions. It cost over $250,000 to build that site, and we're the only company in the world that has it. So, again, we do this for our clients, and again, we've incorporated now all over the world, and we'll be able to hold auctions for our clients in Europe, Asia, and now in Central America. So, Randy, I've never been more excited about the business. And again, with everything happening in the world right now, geopolitically and financially, diamonds are about the best investment that you could make at this time, along with physical gold and silver.
RareColoredDiamonds.com, RareColoredDiamonds.com. Telephone number to speak personally and privately with Harold about diamonds, 1-800-432-1022. 1-800-432-1022. Get our newsletter this week from Harold. Take a look at our featured diamond, a 0.34 carat oval cut, fancy, vivid, purplish pink. You can see a picture of it in our newsletter. You click the link, it will take you to the website, and you can see video of it. It is absolutely stunning. Read that story about that D-color flawless diamond. Harold has been speaking about them for quite some time, and here we are, a major diamond on sale. We have pictures of the diamond, and it's a woman holding the diamond. I don't know how you would have that on your finger. It, like Harold said, it's like a golf ball, but it is absolutely stunning the way they cut it. It doesn't surprise me. It took 21 months. Harold, one thing I wanted to mention, and this is important for all our listeners. Harold Siegel of Rare Colored Diamonds, you announced via press release that your next online seminar is April the 3rd, 2013 at 6 Eastern. That would be, 8 o'clock Eastern, 6 Mountain Time. For those that are listening in Alberta, those listening in Eastern Canada or around the world, you invite everyone all over the world to be a part of this next seminar on rare colored diamonds. I know you spent a lot of time and effort in putting this entire seminar together, and it's coming up on April the 3rd. We'd love to see everyone go to the website and sign up. It's absolutely free. You can go in and watch. Does not cost you a thing. And obviously it's a great way, Harold, for people to get educated about this rare market.
You better believe it. I'm very excited to do it. You can literally watch the seminar from the comfort of your own home. So we're very excited. We've had over 1,000 people sign up for it worldwide so far. So what you'll be able to do is go to our website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. There's a section for investment seminars. Fill out your information, and within the next week or so, you will receive the link to go to our site to view the seminar. And the thing is, it'll tell you everything about the diamond market, where diamonds come from, how they're cut. We actually have a video of a diamond that was cut over a 3-month period, and we reduced it to a 2-month video. We're going to go over GIA reports, how to read a GIA report, how to tell the difference between colors and cuts, and what are more valuable diamonds than others. On top of that, we have our information on argyle, on yellow flawlesses, and on D-flawless diamonds, and then we have our collection to show. So it'll last about an hour. You'll be able to ask questions via typing in through your computer, and again, we are very much looking forward to it, and it'll be the first in the series of many seminars that will be happening moving forward. And again, we have the technology. You know, when I was in Denver doing a seminar, we let a company film it for us and live stream it around the world, and I was very uncomfortable with it because live streaming doesn't work all the time. It interferes and it cuts in and out, and I never liked that at all. So we invested heavily in the new technology, and you will find that the seminar will go very smoothly. There is no delays, no nothing, and again, it's something you'll truly enjoy. So that's on April the 3rd at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, and it's totally free of charge. And anybody who's interested in learning about the diamond business and how you make money in the diamond market, you definitely want to attend this. And again, like everything else, we make it free of charge. We never charge our clients for information.
And a lot of people have these smart TVs now where they're wireless, you can stream the internet through your TV. So you actually could be watching Harold do this seminar via your telephone if you do have it hooked up wirelessly through your TV. So keep that in mind. I know I'll be watching on my iMac, a big 21.5-inch screen, beautiful screen, and look forward to seeing Harold give the seminar. Go there, sign up right now, April the 3rd, 2013, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Harold, we have about 2 minutes left, and it was another busy week. One thing we did not touch on, it was interesting, U.S. President Barack Obama was interviewed and said that, and he was interviewed by Israeli TV, that he felt Iran maybe had about a year before they could develop nuclear capabilities or a nuclear bomb. And he said they would not let it go that long. They would definitely step in and do something. That's sort of one card that we have not really talked a lot about lately, but that geopolitical situation between Israel and Iran is very dicey.
It's dicey, it's there, and it's going to happen. And again, when it does happen, watch oil prices skyrocket. On top of that, you've got a similar situation going on with North Korea. You've got Japan and China fighting. You've got all these scenarios going on. You know, the thing is that when money is tight, tempers start to flare, and when the financial world gets the way it is, things can happen. And sometimes wars break out, and it will affect the markets in a huge way. So again, keep that into consideration because it's in the news. It is going to happen, and I'd rather be, a month early than a day late. So again, I would get into these markets. I would get your gold, your silver, and your diamonds, and then sit back and watch everything unfold. I'm sure that when all the dust settles, it's our clients and the listeners to our radio show that is going to end up doing the best financially.
Thank you very much, Harold Siegel, and we wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day weekend.
You better believe it. I wish everybody a wonderful weekend and a very profitable day.
The company Harold recommends you use to invest in precious metals, worldwide precious metals, let them earn your business, educate you as to why you should have an allocation of gold and silver in your portfolio at all times. www.pmc.com, telephone number 1-866-623-2002. Our newsletter is packed full of good information on silver and gold. We obviously are limited in our time on the radio show, but get our newsletter from Worldwide. They'll be happy to send it out to you. You can read all the stories. You can go through it very quickly. Also, connect with Harold, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, telephone number 1-800-432-1022. Take a look at our featured diamond and be a part of the seminar on April the 3rd. That's it. Another edition of the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall. We will talk to you next week.